This is a sponsored video, so there will be some bias, even if it's only like unconscious bias, but I'll try and avoid being overly analytical for that sake, and also you can make up your own mind based on the footage you see here. Hello, I'm EnterElysium and welcome to a sponsored Let's Play of Quarantine and the new DLC. Quarantine is a turn-based strategy game where you basically have to try and manage this infection that's broken out on the planet and find a cure at the same time as making sure that it doesn't, well, I guess, kill everybody, which would tend to be a bad thing and thus game over. I think it's getting a massive update and a DLC as of the 13th, which in theory should be today when you see this video, and will be on sale at less than $10 for the next week. We're going to dive in with a new game. We're not going to be playing the new scenario, which is with the DLC, the Ebola. We're going to be playing bacteria for now, just so that we can get used to it. Maybe Ebola will do like the next video. Ebola has an increased mutation rate. We're going to stick with bacteria for the moment, which is a standard mutation rate. It does, however, have an increased spread to unaffected cities, which means it will kind of go and cover the globe pretty quick, which is unfortunate. But at least it won't mutate into something horrific. We're going to put it on medium. Now, fair warning, I have won once while practicing. Yes, I've won once. I've also got the entire world killed many more times, so I do not have much faith for this, but we'll have a go and try not to die. So the way it works is that you have a leader. Basically, you start off with one operative and you can hire more, but you can have your starting operative from any of the 4 classes. You get security, who takes less damage when doing actions, a medic, who can heal more people and cure them, diplomacy, the diplomat does, I think he has, she has a cheaper price for getting officers, and they generate revenue, so basically, like, better at getting you funding. And then science, your scientist is better at getting you points of cure, like samples. You get more samples with you. You also get a starter tech that differs between all 4 of them. I'm going to go with... I'm going to try a new tactic that I'm working on. Which, you know, it sounds great. I'm going for an experimental tactic. The world's in danger, and I've decided to go with the experimental route. We're going to go for the diplomat. So the diplomat gets cheaper offices, and you start with +1 offices can be built. Next. Starting location, we're going to start in London because it's the nearest to me, and quite frankly, I would be very much pleased if we could not get infected. Start game. We're receiving reports of a dangerous new bacteria that has become resistant to all known antibiotics. Transmission seems to be airborne, so it is already spreading over a wide area. Get your team in place and contain it as soon as possible. So, welcome to Quarantine. Understood. Right, so this is our lovely world map. You can see that it's basically got a load of cities that are interconnected by, I guess these are like transportation routes that people tend to take. And we start in London, which basically is our headquarters. We get a office there. You notice that we've got 1 out of 5 offices. We also have these 3 places infected. Now, actually, this is not particularly good news for us. They're actually far away, which means we can't get there and do anything this turn. This turn is unfortunately going to be one of those turns where we kind of sit there and twiddle our thumbs. Well, we're going to move closer, but yeah, there will be thumb twiddling. Actually, one of the changes that they've brought in this update is the actual moving mechanic that didn't actually used to be there, but now we have to move. And sadly, we can only move 2 tiles, so we could move to New York if we wanted to run away, but we are not scared of this infection because we are immune for some reason, which is very much appreciated. It would be very unfortunate if your, you know, operatives died all the time. We're going to move to Moscow because it's closer. And we could set up a quarantine. We could just do a move. Now, a quarantine will cost us money, and I'll get onto that in a bit. The problem is it costs us $15. I assume it's like $15 million or 15 billion or whatever our funding is. Maybe that dot is meant to be a comma or something. Maybe it's 15,000. It's probably more than $15,000 to actually, like, you know, quarantine a city. It probably costs a fair bit more. I'm guessing $1 million would probably be on the low side. So we're going to call it $15 million or $15 for short. So we could quarantine Moscow. Now that prevents infection really coming through there. And it is very tempting to do. But if I do that, I don't know if I can afford an office next turn. And I do want to go for offices. This is my strategy. It involves like office heavy and then get the funding and then build loads of quarantines. That's my trick. So you can see that we have 3 places here that are infected. And you notice that they've got like these quarters around them. If I zoom in, like, oh, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, if you remember like the Xbox Red Ring of Death, God damn it. Red Ring of Doom. I had that many times. This is, you know, like your controller isn't plugged in properly. 2 is nobody knows. 3 is a general hardware GPU failure. And 4 is some other massive failure. Basically, when this gets full, the entire city is dead and full of infected people and horrific, and you can't save them anymore. Currently, a few people are infected, and it's probably going to spread, and bad things will happen, and people will have sniffles, and... Okay, they'll probably have more than sniffles. We will move you to Moscow. Now, the question is, do I want to do the... quarantine? If I do the quarantine, it'll cost us 15. We'll go down to 5. We'll earn 10. We'll be up to 15. I won't be able to build an office. An office will cost us, I think, 25 or 20. I don't know how much the diplomat like discounts it. I've never done this with a diplomat, so we're just going to move for now. I won't actually do any actions. Right. So she moves to there, and we need to do some tech. So assign tech research. We have 4 different strands of tech research. We start off with this one here. +1 office can be built. We can get these, or we could go and get further down this tech tree. This is operatives receive less damage from operations. This is we train faster. This is disease requires more mutation points to mutate. And this is we can get an extra operative. Currently we're going to get 4. With this we can get 5. I'm going to say that this is nice, but we won't be able to afford an operative or a 5th operative for quite a while. So right now it's a bit superfluous. We just have an extra cap, which we wouldn't be using. This is great. More XP, get our people leveled up quickly. But honestly, I never find that I tend to use that full level. Mutation, great. Let's stop mutation early. However, I do think that if we can like prevent the damage early, that stops us having to take like people out of the front line and send them to go and heal. This will become more evident as we play. So we're just going to do the start research. It'll take 4 days. Reduce operation damage by 50%. Okay, let's go back to the map. Now, we also have a lab, which we can't really use at the moment. We'll come back to that. We have our team. We can't really hire anyone because they cost 30 million or $30. Either they're the most expensive person in the world, or they are incredibly cheap. We can't afford them. We could afford you next turn, but my tactic relies on me getting my offices down, because I need that multiplication of my money. Basically, I'm investing early, getting in on the ground floor, setting up my offices, or give me more money, in the hope of redeeming, you know, a proper, like, reward for our investment later on. So we're going to end our turn. Now the disease goes. Okay, so it's infected there. It's infected there. And you've infected yourself. So you're up to 2. Right, so this is basically what the disease does. It spreads, it infects, and you can see using these little red lines where is in danger next turn. We are going to move you closer, and now we can build an office. So you can only build offices in places that are next to infected areas or in infected areas. Presumably, if you build it in an infected area, you have staffing problems because people are infected. I guess the reason being, basically, you can't build an office outside of a nearby area because you need the data, you need the field reports, and quite frankly, they give you really cheap rent because no one wants to rent somewhere in Yekaterinburg when people are infected and coming over. Honestly, I've never heard of these places in Russia, so I am sorry to my Russian viewers. We're going to set up a office. Oh my god, it only costs 10k! That is the cheapest office ever! Wow. Offices normally cost like 30k. Is it 20 or 30? Either way, that is a big discount. So, there we go. And you notice that our income has gone up by 10 per turn. We're making double what we were. We can't really do anything on this turn. We can't afford to hire anyone. Our tech's researching, so we're just going to hit next turn and hope this doesn't go terribly wrong. Okay. What we're looking for is if they start infecting these node points. Okay, that's good. They can infect into Africa, and I'm hoping not to do that. I'm trying to contain them. So, I'd like you to move down here. And we are going to have to do a quarantine. This means I can't hire anyone this turn. That said, I'd also really like to do an office. If I do an office, I can... Right, we're going to do an office. Move you there. And then I can hire someone. So, we're going to hire... We're going to hire a medic. So, medic. Treatment reduces +1 infection per level. Basically, right now, anyone who tries to reduce an infection can do so. They'll reduce by 1 point. Medic can do it by 1 plus their level. So we'll hire you.
Won't be disappointed.
And we can move you instantly, which is lovely. I'm going to move you down to Istanbul. That way you can take on Tehran, Cairo, Yekaterinburg, Riyadh. And we'll end our turn. Oh dear, no, you went down to Mogadishu. That's bad. You can infect the whole of Africa from there. And I can't make that. See, 1, 2 moves. I can't make Mogadishu. And this is nearly lost. Right, if we lose this city, we can't get it back. It will stay lost. So that will be our problem. I think what we're going to have to do is move you to here. And build a quarantine up.
Operation is a success.
Okay, so we spent 15k and we got a quarantine. So what a quarantine does is it gives it like armor. Like we've got 2 armor here. If they try and infect it, it will fail, but it will reduce the armor by 1. So that will prevent that from getting infected, and importantly, will prevent infection going through to Europe from there. As for you, we're going to need to put down another office. This tactic is very much dependent on getting out a lot of offices.
Mission complete.
Now, the problem with this tactic is it's going to rely on me spending a lot of my turns not healing and not curing infected people. If the infected number get too high, we lose the game. So that's a problem. Let's end our turn. There we go. Aha! The quarantine held. No, damn it. Oh, you're getting quite highly infected. Right, we need to move you down to here and set up another office.
We're done here.
Confirm that. And then we can either hire or we can set up a quarantine. I'm feeling a hire. So we'll go over here and we'll treat. Notice that it reduced the infection by 2 because you're a medic and you're level 1. However, there is a 75% risk that we will lose health.
Still alive.
So we lost 2 health there. Now, if an operative gets to 0 health, they do die. You notice that the health bar is a little bit diminished. We will grab ourselves another one, and I think we will go for scientist. So what scientists do is they can grab samples. So they grab 1 plus 1 sample gathered per level. We'll hire you. Samples that need to actually get to the end goal. Like, you need to be able to cure the disease, and to cure the disease, you need samples. Right. Now, we've also completed body armor, which means we'll receive less damage from operations. We could go for operations with less chance to get damaged. We could go for the XP. We could go for the extra operative. Or we could inhibit mutation. Honestly, I was thinking about dropping this tree. I'm feeling that either one of these two. And since we're going pretty quickly up the tree, now we've got enough money for more people, I think we go improve logistics. 4 days' time, we might need that 5th person. And getting early 5th person will really help us keep a clamp down the infection. Right. You're up. You can't actually get to anywhere useful. You could get here, but you can't quarantine because we don't have any money, so...
Operation is a success.
Now, if the disease spreads to here, we're going to have to start closing down Africa. If it spreads to here, you're going to sprint straight down here and quarantine Cape Town, because I can't let it start spreading across the world. If it spreads to Istanbul, that's another quarantine. If it spreads to here, well, I can't do that. There's actually 2 steps. If it spreads to Khartoum, maybe, yeah. Let's see what happens. So Jakarta, Riyadh, Mumbai.
There's been a situation.
And we have an event. So occasionally events happen. Prime Minister infected. The Prime Minister's country has been diagnosed with disease some time ago, is now desperate and has contacted us to offer his full financial backing if we provide him with the best treatment option we have. Now, to do this, we need a sample. And I think this event is something like you spend a sample and you gain $30 or 30 million or whatever it is. Sadly, I have no samples, so I have to refuse. So There was no bad side to that event, we just missed out on money. Which is, you know, it's a bad thing in and of itself. Right. I'm thinking... We'll quarantine Riyadh or Tehran. Quarantine Tehran.
The job's finished.
We need you to move over to Beijing. Is this Beijing? Yes, Beijing-shi. And treat there. Because if it gets up to 4, you can't get the city back. Oh, and you didn't get injured. Yay. As for you, we are maxed out on offices. So for now on, it's just quarantines. Either we do Kinshasa or Mogadishu. Let's do Kinshasa. And we can't afford to hire someone this turn, which is a shame. Oh, Pretoria. Khartoum. Oh, that's not good. We can't actually quarantine both of those. Right. We have enough money to do 3 quarantines and a hire. So if you quarantine here...
Mission complete.
Oh, got to be cautious though, by the way. There are 4... If we get 4 more infections, we're dead. Quarantine Pretoria.
Another success.
Quarantine Cairo, because Riyadh, if it pops this way, will hit Tehran. If it pops this way, it hits Cairo. Tehran is already protected. Khartoum, equally, 50% chance it'll hit somewhere that's quarantined now. Otherwise, it'll hit Mogadishu. Actually, you can't hit Mogadishu. Mogadishu will just pop itself. So yeah, actually, that helps. There still might be a chance. I don't know how many pops they'll get. I think it's only 3, but if they get 4, we could die. So we're playing it risky here. Let's hire out... And I'm thinking another medic. We could get like a security. They suffer less damage when doing stuff. But I'm going to go for medics at the moment. I've got the buff that reduces damage. Medics allow me the ability to heal if I desperately need to. Move you to there.
Mission accomplished.
Okay. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Yes! It hit Cairo. That was a good call. Yes, Irkutsk. We lost the quarantine around Yekaterinburg. Sweet. So yeah, just like in real life, if you had, you know, a disease ravaging most of Asia, you put up a quarantine. So, we're 3 people away from death at the moment. We should probably use a healer to hit somewhere like Novosibirsk. We'll treat that.
That'll leave a scar.
Oh, you took damage. Ugh. What about you? Tehran, Tashkent. Kind of want both of them because both of them can infect outwards. We are down to 5 people available, so I guess we'll move you up to here. The idea being that I'm going to work a rolling quarantine in. I want to first quarantine a wall so they can't get out, and then I'm going to quarantine them back and push them away. Treat Tehran.
That got hairy.
And then you all go. We should probably pick up a sample. For now, though, I'm just going to go with a quarantine.
All clear.
So, this is quarantine, which means it can't break out because it will break its own quarantine, but it won't actually hit anyone else, so it will reduce itself. And I think if we heal it to 0 and it's quarantined, it can't infect itself. So, in theory, once we clean this, it won't be able to get infected until, you know, someone hits it from outside. Okay, Irkutsk got hit. Oh, Yekaterinburg. Tokyo. 3 left.
This needs your attention.
Ah, right. Here we go. Tokyo, antibiotic dependency. The public are overly dependent on antibiotics. As we have always feared, the bacteria has now developed a partial resistance. This means that the public are vulnerable. Restrict antibiotic supply. 75% chance of reducing the infection by 1. It will cost us 5 million. But there is a 25% chance it will increase the infection by 1. Enforce strict guidelines. It will cost us 10. We do get a quarantine status. But it'll increase the infection by 1 if we fail. Now, this is an 80% chance. Now, next turn, I want to hire someone. If we hire someone, we spend 10, we can put in 2 quarantines. We'll do the strict guidelines. Please don't fail. Yes, it worked. Okay, that's useful because this will actually prevent anyone getting down to Port... Jakarta can get Port Moresby. Oh well. Right, we've completely improved logistics. We can get that extra operative. Disease has -1 intensity actions per turn. Yes. This means that, you know, it spreads like 4 times whatever happened. This time it can only spread by 3. That is what I'm looking forward to. Okay. I want you to come here and grab... Can we grab samples? It's a risk if we do. We definitely need to set up a quarantine there.
That wasn't easy.
You definitely need to wipe out disease in here. Oh, I did a quarantine. I did a quarantine. I meant to wipe out disease. This could go very badly. There are 3. Right, let's hire... Let's hire a scientist. I'm not too worried about damage right now. Oh, they should be. Look at them. They're pretty badly hurt. Yeah, okay, let's get security. Move to here.
Operation is a success.
Okay, treat there.
The work is finished.
I know you're a diplomat doing the treating, but I'm sure you can, like, you know, boss people around or whatever it is. We'll treat here, which means that Riyadh can't get infected now. It can if, you know, the nearby ones get infected and then they infect it after busting through the quarantine. That's really unlikely. Okay. 2 people. 1 person. Oh god, we're so close to death. Right, we need to get the max out of our clears, so... Treat you.
Operation is a success.
Treat you. Both of those were 2s, that's why I went for them. We have lost a lot of health on my medics, though. And I'll go here and grab a sample. Now, the scientist grabs 1 sample, as everyone else does, but plus level. Currently you're level 1, so you'll grab 2 samples. And samples are used to cure the disease, so we do need to get a move on there. We actually do need to do it that early with my, you know, tactic. My tactic does involve basically making the late game easy at the cost of trying to do this complicated tactic in the early game. Now, we could go here and try and heal. We could go here and try and heal. I honestly think this is probably a better plan, because it won't reinfect because it's quarantined. Or at least until the quarantine goes down. And then you should probably come down to here and help clear Pretoria.
Another success.
Now, we have to be aware. Mutation progress. The disease will mutate next turn. Then it'll spawn an additional trait. Oh dear. 1 extra mutation point for global infection. 2 base per turn. Okay. Let's end the turn. And as the cure's gone up. We'll talk about that when we actually get enough to start curing. Okay, you hit Tehran. Port Moresby. This is my only risk at the moment. I've got this walled off, but they can go around and come down through Perth. So I'm trying to be cautious with this. You here, treat.
Finished here.
You here, quarantine.
The job's finished.
Which means that these are now safe. So our rolling wall has managed to cure effectively Cairo, Riyadh, Khartoum, Kinshasa, and Pretoria, because this is locked into Mogadishu. Mumbai could eventually hit Tehran. Yekaterinburg could fall, but other than that, we're okay. So, I want you to move up here and treat. How much damage could you take? You've got 4 health. You could take 3 max.
Piece of cake.
Okay, so that's cured. Let's put in another rolling quarantine.
Ouch.
Oh, you took 2 points of damage. You're literally on 1 health. I probably shouldn't have done that. That was a risk. Scientist. Get me some more samples. You've gone up a level, so it's 3 samples. We'll grab those. And now notice that we have 5 samples collected. So, we can go to the lab. Hello, this is the horrible disease that's killing everybody. Researchers hired 1 of 4. We can hire more researchers to speed up the cart. You know what? Let's hire a researcher. This will help speed up the curing. I think it was going to take 7 days, now it's 4. Right, blood spots. Antibiotic resistance. Fomite adherence. And rodent flea transmission. So this is like effectively a what's it called? Oh, I cannot remember for the life of me. A thing, a symptom you exhibit. This is a trait, effectively, antibiotic resistance. This is, I think it's a way it mechanically works at a kind of biological chemical level or something. And this is a transmission vector. So we're going to take out the transmission vector to begin with. It'll take us 4 days, and we need 4 samples. Each one of these we'll need 4 samples for. And once we've cured all of them, we will cure the disease. So, let's start on that one. Right, we're doing pretty well so far. We've got everything done for the turn. There's no end of turn reminders just sitting here. I think those are new in the new build. Yes. I'm of course playing a kind of a beta access of this new build, so if you see anything weird, that's probably just because it's beta. 5 left. Quarantine saved, Yekaterinburg. Okay. Now, we have 4 days in which no cures are gonna... Well, no extra samples are gonna help us. You could die if you do anything. So, I'm gonna tell you just to move to here and then heal.
Done and done.
Get yourself 5 health back. Notice the health bar at the bottom of their screen. You've got 4 health, so in theory, you should be okay. So if you treat here, you could lose 2 or 3.
That'll leave a scar.
She lost 3. She's on 1 health, but she's fine. Other than the fact she might, you know, die at any moment. We will move you in to here and put down a quarantine.
We're done here.
The idea here is that we can start rolling it out to push this line. And we'll move you to here and treat that one.
Finished here.
Right. Ooh. Okay, this is very helpful. Before the update, you didn't have these. Now I know that there's an operative that I still haven't used. I was actually like, oh, I'm done with my turn. Nope. Which is, thank you for informing me. We've got 55 grand left. Ooh. What are we going to do? Tashkent. There's not really a point in healing on Mumbai, because you only heal 1. That won't close it down, whereas the medics could do that. You can't get to Yekaterinburg. We could heal Tashkent. And Tashkent is surrounded by... Yes! Tashkent is surrounded by quarantine zones. Now, you could infect yourself.
Operation is a success.
But it means it's very unlikely to actually get infected, because the only way to infect is to infect itself. Mumbai tried to get Mogadishu. Tried to get Delhi. Perth. That was the warning one I was talking about, because if it gets up here, I can't control the spread of the infection. So you need to emergency go down here. I was going to say immediately, and I kind of changed it to emergency, and that didn't work, because they have different letters. Quarantine. So it ended up being emergency. But apparently that's just how I roll. Making up languages on the spot. I need you to come down to... I mean, ideally Delhi, but... just go here and treat this.
What happened?
Oh no! You injured! Whoops! You're not the one I healed! No! That's me being silly. Right, she died. I mean, it said she's MIA, but I think it's just trying to not hurt my feelings. Hi, you. Hello. I didn't screw up there. Shush.
In the bag.
May have murdered one of my medics through my own incompetence. It happens sometimes. I would actually like to go and grab some more samples.
Took a few knocks.
If you could come up here and treat that disease.
Made it, but barely.
And if you could quarantine there.
Finished.
Disease is -1 in 10. So yeah, it'll be taking less actions. Bases generate more money. I don't think money is our issue right now. This is tempting. Operatives have less chance to get damaged. I think mutation inhibition is better, because that will increase how long it'll take to cure the disease. So if we can get this, this would help. Now, I'd like to get another researcher. Could get another engineer. Engineer will speed up the technology. But engineers cost 80, you cost 50. I can't get either, so we'll just end our turn. Alright, it busted Delhi. And that busted Chengdu. And it busted Mogadishu. Oh, that's a lot of stuff to cover.
Field report.
Celebrity tweets in Port Moresby. A celebrity just tweeted to her millions of followers that the conventional treatment we use to slow the progression of the disease does not work. Instead, she suggests using the healing crystals, conveniently providing a link to an online shop where they may be purchased. Investigate the business. We lose 15,000, and there's a 10% chance of a 1 infection. Investigate their effectiveness. 80% chance, and it cost... Denounce them. Oh, okay, so here's... you notice it says results. Future consequences label. Not found. That's just because I'm playing a beta build at the moment. Don't worry about that. Denounce healing crystals. %chance of 1 infection. You know what? I'm not too fussed about spending the money, so... Yeah, situation under control. Right. Perth is locked down. Mogadishu is desperately in need of being a bit extra locked down. You can move down here and quarantine that.
Piece of cake.
Confirm. Right. Is anyone particularly injured? Not massively. Let's quarantine Mumbai.
That got hairy.
We'll quarantine... You know, I'm actually not going to quarantine Delhi or anything. The only way that Delhi's going to get infected if Bangkok goes that way. So I'm going to quarantine Chengdu instead, because that's got a lot of infected near it.
Is a success.
I'd like you to come down to... Honestly, again, you're not really doing much. We can grab samples. You can actually grab samples from the previously infected cities, because the infection still lingers there, as you can see with the red ring. But it's not going to happen while it's quarantined. Because it's kind of assumed that quarantine also involves stuff like martial law, curfews. So if there are small outbreaks, they're small. They're not like a quarter of the population. So we're just going to grab those samples.
Operation complete.
Up to 5 now, so the lab should be doing pretty well. Would like to make a bit more money. Operative still available. Oh yeah, thank you. We will... You know what? I was going to cure here, but if we get Port Moresby breaking out to Sydney, that would be annoying. So I'm just going to move up, and I'm going to quarantine Port Moresby.
All too easy.
Ha ha ha, you failed. You failed. Don't Delhi. Ah, I went for Delhi. Okay, okay. Well... You can cure here.
Done and done.
You didn't take any damage. Good. You can cure here.
We're done here.
You didn't take any damage as well. You can come down and quarantine this area.
Success.
And you know what? You can come back and treat this area.
All clear.
So this makes this line here completely free of infection. I mean, not completely, but it's completely free of major infection. And Port Moresby is the only area down here. So we've actually kind of locked it into this area now. And helpfully, we've got Tokyo and Chengdu, meaning that they've only got a slight narrow gap here. You're still available. Seriously, this is such a helpful addition. I keep missing that I've got our diplomat available. We'll go for a standard treat action.
The work is finished.
Right. Rodent flea transmission is done. We now have one section of the cure. Next, because we have enough samples, we will grab... Oh, and we'll hire a researcher. Reducing it to 3 days. We'll get rid of antibiotic resistance. It'll help if we get rid of that. You know, antibiotics will actually have an effect. Okay, Chengdu got bust. Mumbai got hit. Port Moresby got hit. But we're still holding. Okay. So, obviously the first thing to do will be to quarantine that.
The job's finished.
Quarantine that.
All clear.
And then, I think if we get Chengdu, there's no way for it to really expand. Either that or we could go on like a major cleaning blitz. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, we could do that. So if we move you two to here and treat.
Piece of cake.
Actually, tell a lie. We probably want to put up a quarantine here as well.
In the bag.
Because these will expand and try and hit this if we just clean it. So I want to put up a wall. You... There's no point in cleaning this because it will just reinfect itself. So we'll clean... we'll clean Hong Kong.
Job done.
Okay, so Tokyo, Jakarta, Irkutsk, Yakutsk, and Bangkok. Nothing's broken. Sweet, they hit ones that were all like 2 strength. Okay, so you clean Jakarta.
Finished here.
Our diplomat's taken a surprisingly low amount of damage, considering, you know, diplomat? Go clean here.
Mission accomplished.
Go quarantine here.
The work is finished.
Go clean your cuts, because you can do that in one go.
Done and done.
Because you're a medic. Move to here. Quarantine.
Operation is a success.
Alright, we've managed to push the disease back now. Irkutsk. Bangkok. Technically Chengdu, because Chengdu will probably pop next turn. Disease requires more points to mutate, so this will slow down this. Disease traits research require fewer samples. We could go for that. Yeah, sure. Okay, that's annoying. Ruining my plans. I have to capture that all again. Antibiotic resistance. Right, we don't have enough samples to do any more. We're gonna need samples. So, please collect me some samples.
We're done here.
Yeah, we'll go for the fomites. Set up a quarantine.
Done.
Set up a quarantine.
Piece of cake.
Set up a quarantine.
All clear.
And... treat? Yes.
That wasn't easy.
You bust Yakutsk. Novoblitsk. Beijing. I wonder, if we go here and we set up a quarantine...
Easy.
if we send you to here to retreat,
Finished here.
and then we go for quarantine,
Operation is a success.
where can the disease go? We've got operatives still available, but I'm not sure what's going to happen now. Just pick up some samples.
Piece of cake.
In the bag.
Ah, it's going to break out of the quarantines. Okay. Yeah, so if you lock the disease in, it will then get a chance to break out of quarantine. So I'm going to be sneaky. I don't actually need more samples. And I'm going to let it have Hong Kong.
Done and done.
Should probably just get people to heal. Just trying to spread people around now. Make sure they're covering all their bases.
We're done here. Another success.
Okay. Lab. Maxed out our researchers. Port Moresby broke. Mogadishu broke. Tashkent broke. I need an actual disease. But so far it's just hitting my existing areas of defense. Just heal up.
We're done here.
Heal. Just make sure we get global coverage. Move.
Mission complete.
Move.
Finished here.
And heal.
Done.
Disease research requires fewer samples. Bulk collection. Operatives collect more samples from sample collection. Sure, why not? It doesn't really matter at this stage. Foam adherence. Excellent. Blood spots. It's going to take 2 days. Okay, now is when we need to start putting down some more quarantines. Although that said, I don't think we can actually lose at this stage, even if we just let it go rampant.
All too easy.
I think we've got this locked in.
Easy.
This tactic does seem to be working quite nicely. Who'd have thought I could come up with a decent tactic?
No problem.
Not me. And we will just move there.
Piece of cake.
Operative still available? Who? Oh, you.
Another success.
End turn. And in theory... Right, Hong Kong. Pretoria. Mogadishu. Right, so since Hong Kong is actually infected, the only thing that will happen now is Hong Kong. Oh, we won.
Congratulations, Director.
Yes! Ha ha! Take that, disease. Maybe I need to stop playing on hard. I'm just too good. And by too good, I mean I have a really cheesy tactic involving quarantining people and pushing them into a tiny pen and then just experimenting on them. I am evil. It's for the greater good. The greater good. Anyway, I've been EnterElysium. This has been Quarantine and the DLC that will be coming out on the 30th, which is probably today, I think, judging by the release date for this video. It's actually on sale right now for like 30% off and will be for the week. Go check it out. Until next time, don't get like a disease like Ebola or anything. That would be bad. And stay shiny.